Everybody, welcome to CKAMAs. Tonight's guest has dedicated the last 20 years of his career empowering lifelong learners to pursue their passions and execute on their dreams. With extensive experience working with the likes of the University of Phoenix and CSU Global and having tremendous impact on the trajectory of their growth, he's gained hard-earned insights that allow him to drive much-needed change in how people approach online education. Through the years, he's noticed that those that succeed intentionally seek clarity on what they want and where they want to go, and cultivate a sense of dogged determination to see things through. Now, as a leader in education, he aims to apply his skill set towards growing Flatiron's reach and continue impacting the lives of countless more lifelong learners. Please turn your cameras on, unmute yourselves, and help me in welcoming the man that helped build the very first online state university in the nation, Flatiron School's Director of Admissions, James Guajardo. Welcome, James.
Hey, James.
Thank you, Melvin.
Welcome.
Hi, James.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello,
Hey,
everybody. Yeah, what a
welcome,
great
Dick.
welcome, Melvin. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you all for allowing me to be here tonight. I'm really looking forward to this opportunity to chat with you all and just share about any of my experiences and provide any help and support that I can and answer your questions. So yeah, very excited to be here. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I'd love to start off with the patterns that you've kind of noticed throughout the years in education that kind of differentiate like successful students from the unsuccessful ones. And do you mind also sharing like what you believe to be the biggest determining factors in that?
Yeah. So I guess just kind of a little bit of background on like what I've seen, in my years in education. I started off my career in education myself, actually not have ever gone to college. That really wasn't in the playbook for me when I left high school and I went to work. And so I became a working adult who was pursuing my education at the same time. So I was a non-traditional learner. I've always been a non-traditional learner. And so I really understand the challenges that presents to people, and the opportunity as well too. When you're in a position where you're looking to make a career change, and you're also maybe managing a full-time job and a family as well too. So, some of the things I think that help, help drive that, and help provide an opportunity for people to achieve that is having the passion, right? Having passion, having drive, having motivation to be able to, achieve those goals. I think that's what really resonated for me, and really, I think, helped me to, find a niche in my career path and be involved in helping others achieve success through education. And it's why I love what I do. Really have enjoyed being part of Flatiron and growing my career here, and this really being the next phase of education. Because as I evolved from being in a more traditional college setting as my job, and learned a lot there in my time there, and then moved into online education and always working with non-traditional students, realizing that the pattern for education was changing. The skill sets and the demand for workers is changing. And I was seeing that, for years, even at the last university that I was at, that the job force is shifting, the workforce is shifting, and what students can learn and how quickly they want to learn that is shifting as well too. And you're seeing more and more that the request and the need for education is for a much quicker turnaround. Upskilling happens much more often and more frequently than it has in years past. And that's why traditional education is at times struggling, because the cost, the time commitment, and when you're getting done with your degree, there's not necessarily a guarantee that you're going to get a job in the field that you studied as well too. So that's a challenge, and student debt is rising. So we were seeing, when I was in, working for some of the universities I had in the past, we continued to see this trend of the need for quick upskilling. Students wanted something that was shorter, more efficient, more specific to what was going to get them a job. And that is really what you've seen born today of a lot of organizations catering to that. And that's what brought me to Flatiron, the mission that Flatiron School stands behind, to really ensure that our students are not only just getting the tech skills that they need to be successful, but that they're getting jobs too. So that shift is happening right now. Tech is a huge demand right now, obviously, and career growth for tech. Even now in this COVID world that we live in, as strange as it is, and that we're all living through this right now, the demand for tech jobs is still going to be there, and it's still going to be growing. And maybe even more so as tech brings us all together, as you can see right now. There's going to be a new demand and increase for engineers and developers and other tech jobs out there too. So I'm really happy to be a part of Flatiron and be a part of a new mission and be part of where education is going for the future. I think this is a smart path for students to take when they look at the boot camp model, because they can get into a job much quicker and have less debt. And I think that's a really important thing that people are looking for. And that's why I'm happy to be part of Flatiron, happy to be here.
Yeah, that's so you actually answered a couple of the other questions that I also had for you, which is really great.
Great.
Could you actually, yeah, do you mind also talking about, so you touched upon a bit about what about Flatiron that made you like make that jump and sort of certain like where things have kind of trended, but where do you kind of see like foresee that future of like Flatiron and in education in general?
Yeah. So Flatiron, I joined Flatiron School because of the mission. When I left higher education, traditional higher education, I was looking to move into more of a tech-focused field and education, and found Flatiron, and it was a perfect fit. I really fell in love with the mission, but also what Flatiron School was all about. And those are the things that I spoke to. It was really amazing to see what partnerships Flatiron has already established. The job outcomes were amazing, and that's phenomenal. And that's really hard for any traditional school really even to speak to be able to say that you have the kind of job outcomes that Flatiron has. So I wanted to be part of an organization that was really, that I was passionate about, and that was really doing great things to help its students. And those were important to me, to be at an organization that was doing those things. So I mean, the great job outcomes, that's the focus. Again, it's not just getting students to help learn skills and to start a program, but it's actually our sole focus is to help students get jobs. And if we don't help them get a job within 6 months after finishing, they get their money back. So it's a pretty amazing thing to be able to offer that really high employment rate for our students. So really, those are some of the features that really drew me to Flatiron School, and really helped me fall in love with the mission here at the school.
So would you mind, sorry, I'm gonna mute. I think we have some background noise there. But actually, no, that's perfect. So what do you think about Flatiron particularly kind of contributes to those incredible job outcomes?
Yeah, we really take a kind of a backwards approach to the whole process. So we spend a lot of time developing our programs based on what our employers need, and ensuring that we know that what employers are looking for, what skills do they need when they're looking to hire graduates out of schools, and really making sure we're in tuned to that. And that's really important, because you have to be really aware of what employers, who they're hiring right now, and what skill sets are most important to them. So our robust career services team as well too. It's the full spectrum. I think it's from the way we develop our students to learn these skills in a short amount of time. It's a rigorous program, so it's a lot of work. But being able to go from beginning coding to finishing the software engineering program, within 15 weeks, for the in-person program, going through our career services, working with our career services team to help prepare for those jobs, and then get a job offer. It's pretty amazing. All of the pieces that come together, from the admissions team working with our students to all the support and mentoring the students get from our coaches and instructors in the classroom, and then working with career services to find that job that they're looking to achieve. So it's pretty amazing, team effort to get students through that full experience here and get to a job and get to a point where we've met our mission and help them succeed.
So what kind of students does Flatiron particularly kind of look for? What are the characteristics that Flatiron kind of sees as super attractive that they actually want coming to them?
That's a great question. I think any student, any background is welcome here, and that's great. What we look for in particularly would be, I think, students who have a passion and drive for the field they want to get into. They ask great questions and they're problem solvers. Those are, I think, natural skill sets that really prove to serve our students well, in this field and moving into a tech career. So yeah, I think you have to really enjoy, if you're going to be coding or be a software engineer, or if you're going to be in cybersecurity, whatever the field that you're in, I think you really need to enjoy that, because if you're making a big career change, you have to be fully invested in that. And so having that drive, that passion, don't be afraid to take risks and try something new. I think that's what puts a lot of our students in this position where they're maybe stuck in a career path that they're currently on, or they're finding it difficult to break into tech. And so our school provides, opportunity for them to learn those skills, build that community, help them prepare on how to get those jobs. And if you're not passionate and driven, and I think invested in wanting to do that, then it would be difficult. So those are some of the characteristics I think that we'd be looking for to attend our school.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the people on this call tonight certainly fit that description, and I know a ton of them were really excited about having you on tonight. So I would love it for the people that are currently on this call tonight to go ahead and use the raise hand feature whenever you have a question. I'll go ahead and start selecting people. It just helps me so that we can queue up questions. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, raise your hand, and then we'll call on you to go ahead and unmute yourself. It would also be super helpful to have all of your cameras turned on, just so that we can all have a conversation. But I did see a hand. It looks like someone just put down their hand. But does anyone currently have a question for James? Felipe, did you have one? Are you good? All right. So, sorry, looks like, all right, Jamira.
Yeah, I have a question for James. Thank you for joining us, James. I wanted to know, how do you guys go about structuring your curriculum? I know you talked about working hand in hand with jobs and working hand in hand with recruiters, but what on the side of student space and how they're learning does their career curriculum kind of prepare students for?
Can you clarify that question a little bit? I just want to make sure I can answer that specifically for you.
So basically, I want to know, how do you prepare students? Basically, I know you said that you prepare students based on what jobs you're looking for, but how do you prepare students based on what students' needs are?
Got it. Yeah. Well, thank you, Jameer. I appreciate the question. Great chatting with you tonight. Yeah, as far as preparing students on their experience, within the classroom, a lot goes into that. And when you look at the tech field, there are a variety of things that employers are looking for and experiences we want to make sure we're replicating within the classroom. So one experience might be, for example, for a software engineering program, that we do a lot of pair programming. And pair programming is really important for people to learn, because when you're a software engineer, you're not going to be just stuck in a room by yourself somewhere writing code. Oftentimes you're working with teams, and you have to work on collaborating on app or some sort of project that you're developing or writing code for. And so it's really important that you learn how to do that pair programming concept so you can work on projects together. There's lectures as part of the curriculum in the software engineering, but it's not all lecture. You're not sitting there listening to somebody talk all day. It's a little bit of lecture, a little bit of lesson, but then you're working on projects and you're actually doing the hands-on components and learning code, learning what you just, taking what you just learned and applying that into a project. Every module that you're in, you'll have checkpoints at the end of the module just to make sure you're progressing through the program at the speed that you should be, and that you're on track before you move to the next set of lessons in the next module. So we're really trying to make sure you're staying on track and that you are understanding and absorbing everything before you move further into the program. Then the experience like pair programming is really teaching you kind of what you need to know on the job, as well as you're developing projects and a portfolio of your work. So when you're done with the program, you have this great portfolio of real work that you've developed. And there's like a project showcase at the very end, which is actually one of the most exciting things to be a part of. And I've gone to many for our students here in Denver, and they're showcasing what they've built. And it's amazing to me every single time that I go to one of those, what a student has built within 15 weeks. And I'm blown away, really, truly blown away. And all the years of education that I've been involved with, and myself, I've gotten my degrees, but to see what these students build in 15 weeks in our programs is amazing. And it's a really, really cool project. So, I mean, you're learning all of those concepts to build you up to that. So you really have real world skills and portfolio of projects to help you get that job. So really taking the lessons, the education, and putting into a real world environment for you, so you have everything that you need. Does that answer your question, Jameer?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm driving right now. I do apologize for the noise, but I do have a question. And my question
Yeah, go
is,
for it.
what do you guys offer for a newly student with no experience, as in coding, and no experience at all?
Yeah, great
How
question.
could you guys help with that?
Yeah,
What's the
that's a great
requirement for what's the requirement for approval as well to join in the classes, the school actually?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so the admissions process, is I think a very supportive process for our students. So our admissions representatives are here to help students, and that's what we want to make sure we put out there for everybody, that you don't have to have a technical background to be able to come into the Flatiron community and be part of our programs. Yeah, if you have that background, great, that certainly helps, and we'll help you apply what you already know to be able to even progress through the admissions process and into your program even much more quickly. But if you don't have a technical background, there's a lot of free resources out there. Even on our website, we have a lot of great resources available to you that can help you prepare and understand, like, hey, is this the career path that I really want to get into? If you're thinking about, oh, I want to be a software engineering, but I don't know a lot about coding, we have some great intro free course programs on our website. So an intro to JavaScript, intro to Ruby, we have a boot camp prep program, and all of those are designed to help you get a taste for our curriculum and a taste for coding, a taste for learning concepts like HTML and CSS and JavaScript and Ruby. So those are some great places to start. And even just engage with the school, feel free to reach out to us and one of our admissions representatives, and they're happy to answer your questions and give you some resources that can get you going in the right direction too. So don't feel like before you reach out to us, like you have to be ready to go for, your technical interview and ready to be admitted. We're here to help explore, your options with you and get you on the right track first. It's our job to make sure you are prepared for classes before you ever start, and that you have everything that you need. So hopefully that answers your question, but there's some resources available on our website to you for free to kind of get those steps towards being a programmer, software engineer, learning some coding. But there's a lot of different resources available to students these days as well too.
Hi.
Thank you for answering that question. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Willie, go for it.
Cool. Hey guys, my name's Willie. I kind of had is it one part two? It's a two-part question. So I guess what's the difference between Flatiron and say like a school like Thankful? And then just a kind of like with everything that's going on in our economy and people kind of being laid off, is there any like financial assistance that's kind of offered to somebody like a student like me or something who's really interested, really want to join? Yeah.
Well, those are great questions. Absolutely. Happy to answer those for you. As far as the first question, the difference between Flatiron and Thankful, I don't know a lot about Thankful, but I believe they have a similar format to us. They're another boot camp that has similar tech programs. What I can speak to about Flatiron and kind of what really helps us, I think, stand out to a lot of our students and why they maybe choose Flatiron is one, we have a large presence across the country and have a lot of partnerships. So our ability to help students get jobs is really really amazing. We have a 93% employment rate for our students, and our students are averaging $75,000 salary when they're graduating from our program. So our jobs report, which we produced in 2019, our last jobs report came out in January. So if we're looking back, we have a jobs report every year, but our most recent one came out in January for the year of 2019. Over 800 graduates reported their information to us, which is great. It's our biggest one yet. And we had 93% employment rate across all of our programs, an average salary of $75,000 for our students. Most of our students got jobs within 2 months. So I think our jobs report and our outcomes are what makes us stand out to a lot of other schools that might be out there. But you should ask those same questions. If you're looking at other boot camps, we always recommend our students, doing your research and asking those kind of questions. What do their outcomes look like? We stand behind our outcomes. And in fact, we were the first and maybe one of the only boot camps that has our job outcomes verified by a third party. So we send our information out and have a third party verify it. So our students know that we're fully transparent, that we stand behind the data, and that's fully verified. So you can feel confident that what we're saying is true, and that we really do stand behind what we do. And with our money back guarantee, not every school provides that as well too. And I think that's pretty amazing. Universities certainly don't provide that. It's pretty amazing that we do that. And we do that because we're confident in our product and what we're giving, to our students to help them get jobs. And the focus so much on jobs that if we didn't help you get a job, we wouldn't make any money as a school. And so we're so confident that, we're willing to put, the money on the line there, if you will, and do the money back guarantee. If we don't get you a job within 6 months, if you've gone through our program and our career services requirements, and you don't have a job offer within 6 months, then your money back. So I think that's one way that we stand apart and why students seek us out, because they feel confident if they're going to invest money into their education, that they want a partner that's going to help them get there and get that job they're looking for. So for answer to your first question there, the second answer there is just like this economy right now. Yeah, it's a challenging thing that we're all presented with COVID-19 being everywhere and the impact it's having on everybody. We know that tech jobs are still in demand and they're still going to be in demand, and that's not changing, and that's great to see. And we're in a great space, I think, great position to help a lot of people, especially with our jobs report and our money back guarantee. Those are things that people, I think, are really looking to invest in their education. But we do have a lot of different financing options available to our students. So we can help them get into the school and pay that. So there's simply, hey, students can pay up front, if they have the means and they want to pay up front for their program and a lump sum, they can do that. We have loans available through some of our partners through a company called Skills Fund and or Climb. There's loans students can apply for. We also offer an income share agreement. If anybody's familiar with an ISA or income share agreement, so it's kind of got added protections built in for students based on their situation. So with the income shared agreement, the ISA, you defer any tuition payments until you get a job. So it's nice, you can start your program and you don't have to begin making payments until you're making at least $40,000 per year. And that's kind of the minimum income threshold there. So, and then once you're making at least a minimum of $40,000 per year with the ISA agreement, then you begin to make 10% of your gross monthly income at that point in time is the payment that you make. And then you would make 48 payments, or if 96 months have passed, whichever one happens first, then you're done with your repayment. And it's capped at 1.5 times the amount of tuition. So that's a great option for some students. They like that. They can defer tuition until they're actually working and making income. So that sometimes is a great benefit for people. We also offer scholarships for students. So right now we have a scholarship called the Access Scholarship that's just helping to expand access to students who are looking to get into Flatiron School and pursue a tech program and change their career. So there's some money available for students right now. We have several scholarships on our website. And you can look at all of the financing options that we have on our website. We have that listed out, but those are hopefully some ways that can help you with how to take these steps forward and be able to afford it as well too.
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate you explaining that.
You're welcome, Willie. Happy to help.
Anytime.
It looks like Rebecca, you're up next. I think you're muted. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I have a question. I have a disability, and I was just wondering I'm getting help from the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. I'm just wondering, how do I go about, do I talk to you or do I talk to them? I know I'm getting help from the government. How do I go about doing that?
Yeah, like using financial assistance that they're providing to you for education. Yeah, we work with a variety of different programs based on the state, location, and program that you choose. We do have individuals at the school here that work with students on using their specific benefits. So we certainly can help answer those questions for you. Obviously, it's very specific to each individual, but we do work with a variety of programs to help students use those benefits towards school. So we would probably, and maybe, I don't know, Melvin, if my email address is available to everybody, but I certainly can give you my email address, Rebecca, and you can email me and I could begin to help you on what that might look like, if that would be helpful for you. But we do have a variety of individuals at the school that can, help you on figuring out the best option for you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. And Melvin, do you have my email address to provide, or should I give that out right now?
Yeah, I can go ahead, and I also create discussion posts after these events, so people can go ahead and visit that discussion post. We can definitely get that shared.
Great. Yeah, feel free to email me directly, Rebecca, and I'm happy to help with that. And you also can email our admissions team at admissions@flatironschool.com. So we'd be happy to help you look at the best option.
Awesome. So it looks like Shamita was wondering, what sorts of companies do Flatiron graduates kind of end up working for? Are they startups? Are they well-established tech companies? What do they look like?
Yeah, well, both. We see a lot of different jobs that our students get here. We have students who have been placed at big companies, that you guys are familiar with, companies like Facebook and Google, Apple, Spotify, JP Morgan, Microsoft. So big companies, but then also a lot of small startups you probably have never heard of before. And that's the cool part about being in tech, is that there's so many opportunities out there, and startups, small tech companies who are being born every day. You're seeing right now in the wake of this COVID-19 that companies are now being born, creating new opportunities and jobs that weren't there maybe a few months ago, because everything is transitioned now to a virtual world. And guess what? A lot of developers, a lot of engineers, and a lot of companies are going to be in a great position to be able to meet those demands of kind of the future needs of business. So yeah, those are like just some names, but like even like our cybersecurity students, they get placed with big companies as well, like even defense companies like Raytheon, Black Carbon. So yeah, we've got quite a few different organizations our students have been placed with, and small, medium, and large businesses of all types.
Felipe, did you want to ask your question?
Thank you for answering that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
My question was like, what is a regular day on the life of a Flatiron student?
Yeah, that's great. And like, are you referring to like an online student or like an in-person student, like going to a campus?
Is there an in-person program right now?
We have, yeah. So nobody's attending in person. So it's a great question though, great clarifying question. We have an online program, obviously, for our disciplines, our 4 disciplines: software engineering, data science, design, UX, UI design, and then cyber. We offer those same disciplines on our campuses across the country as well too. Currently, due to COVID, you know, we're doing the on-campus programs remotely. So they're still meeting with people in their local area, the instructional area, or the instructional staff is in their area, and they're networking kind of with that local group there. But they're doing all through like Zoom, just like we're doing right now. The online program is 100% online. So, you know, they're doing some instructional time, as they always have, you know, online. So like a day might look like where you would log on for perhaps like a huddle or like a stand-up, if you will, a virtual stand-up where you get to connect with your class and an instructor. Lectures will be, you know, throughout the day, and they will be recorded for online students. So like if you're not able to attend, it can be recorded for you to go log on and view later. You'll have check-ins with your coaches, you know, and have kind of these mentors that work with you during the program. So they'll check in with you and you'll have meetings with them. So you have to be comfortable being on Zoom, just like where we are right now. And then, as I mentioned before, you'll have time where you'll be actually working on projects and even doing like pair programming as well too. And that's, you know, something that you'll do in a virtual setting for the online students. And now currently for our on-campus, they're doing it virtually as well too. But you'll be able to do pair programming and collaborating with others in the same way we are right now on coding. The best part about, you know, tech is that, you know, when we're using tech to learn tech, it goes hand in hand together. But that's kind of what it might look like. You're gonna be a little bit of lecture, a lot of project time. You'll be doing some research on your own, then coming back to the classroom and kind of answering questions together on like, what did you learn? How did things go? We really believe in community here at Flatiron School. So you're never gonna be on an island by yourself or feel like you're on an island by yourself. You have a lot of support and resources, and we feel like that's really important to express to our students, because when you're making a career change and you're investing time and money, you wanna make sure there are people there that are supporting you and guiding you through the process and the program. And so we really talk about what we call our white glove service, because we are invested, you know, from every level of the organization. We're truly invested in the student experience and in making sure that you are progressing through the program, understanding the concepts, and able to graduate and get your job. So hopefully that gives you a little idea of what it looks like. On our website too, there are some breakdowns if you're interested in kind of seeing what that looks like more specifically. There's some examples we have of what it looks like for the day in the life of a student.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Great question.
And it looks like we also have a couple of logistical questions on what like your acceptance rate is and kind of like the differences within pricing, if there are any, between online and your in-person cohorts.
Yeah. So as far as acceptance rate, I mean, we're an open program, so it's open to anybody that can get, through the admissions process. And every program is a little bit different. So I don't know exactly what the acceptance rate would be. I'd have to, I guess, dig into that a little bit more. But it's semi-selective. It depends on the program you're pursuing, where and how you're doing the program, like which modality. So, for example, we have a technical interview process as part of the admissions process for some of our programs, but not every program has a technical interview. So, for example, UX UI design doesn't have a technical interview. Part of the technical concepts you'll be learning are kind of built into the program already. And it's a longer program to do UX UI design than perhaps like software engineering would be. So it just depends on kind of what you're learning, and the concepts. But for the software engineering, yeah, the technical interview, not everybody passes the technical interview, but we do have a process where people can, if for some reason they didn't get through the technical interview, which was conducted by one of our technical instructional coaches, there's like a second round available to students where they can pursue as well too. So it's a rigorous program, rigorous, admissions process at times, but we make sure our students are as prepared as possible before they get to that point. We run webinars that help support them in the admissions process, so they have a full understanding of kind of what to expect. They're working with their admissions team members to get questions answered. And then I pointing to those free resources that we have online, like the boot camp prep. That's really what students are working towards. They're learning some of the basic concepts in boot camp prep and essentially preparing to speak to that and to the career coach for the technical interview. So that's where I think it can be challenging for some students, but we don't want that to be intimidating for people, because it's our goal to make sure that when you get into the program that you are well prepared with everything that you need. That's the intent. And if for some reason somebody was not prepared, they would struggle in the program. So we want to make sure we put every opportunity, in place before they actually get to that point, so they can be successful. And that may vary the rates, I think, of when people actually start the program. But I would say, a fairly high acceptance rate, but it depends on the program that you're pursuing. Some, have a little bit more of a technical component to get into than others. So hopefully that answers your question.
And also for those that may be a little bit intimidated, certainly like it makes sense, but you all also have a secret weapon, and that is the Career Karma community, because we have so many people that are actually currently enrolled at Flatiron, and they've gone through the process. They have
Awesome.
been intimidated, right? Like they've had these struggles and these like bouts of doubt. You always have someone to reach out to, and they were just like right in your shoes. And so they're fresh. They have the insights needed. And so never hesitate to reach out whenever you need like a question answered or you're worried about something. You definitely have that here.
Yeah, that's great. This is an amazing community. I've learned, more and more about Career Karma and what you guys do. And we really believe in community as well too at Flatiron. And again, as I said, engage with the admissions reps that we have on our team. They're amazing people. I'm really blown away by our staff and how supportive and engaged they are with the students that they work with, and the great feedback that we get constantly from their students. So engage with the staff. We're here to help and answer questions. And if there's something that seems unclear or intimidating about the process, they can definitely clarify and point you in the right direction and get you the support that you need, so you can truly make this jump into the school and into a tech career. We actually recently produced another free course too. That's, I think, Melvin, you linked in the invite, but it's how to land a tech job curriculum. So what we did is we took our career services curriculum that we give to our students who are in the program getting ready to graduate and prepare for their job search. And we took that recently and just provided it on our website for free to students. So we extracted that out of our program and just gave it to the public for free, because we're in a position right now where, you know, people need support on getting jobs. I think even more so now than months ago even. So we thought that was important to produce that resource for students and help answer some questions you might have about getting into a tech job in Flatiron School.
Yeah, that resource is huge, and I highly suggest everyone that's on this chat to check that out. I actually just dropped the link in the chat, so definitely give that a look. I think Zoom actually removed the URL functionality of it, so you'll have to like copy and paste it, but you can copy and paste it into a browser and check that out. It looks like Kimberly has a question. Kimberly, did you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Yes, actually. So James, you had said that it's a 93% employment rate. The 7% that had their feedback, what reasons did they give as to not being able to attain employment after the program?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the 7%, there's a variety of reasons. It may also be students who did not report, you know, so we can't report information for people who sometimes don't report back to us. And that happens sometimes, that they graduate the program, they get a job, and they don't feel like reporting back to us their statistics or that they have gained a job. We've also have students who simply just drop out of the process or maybe have you know, changed directions and kind of fallen out of the reporting period that we can report in that. So those are like maybe some of the reasons why, or perhaps there was a job. So maybe like sometimes we have individuals that have a job offer, but for a variety of reasons, maybe they decided not to accept that job offer. You know, we have very specific requirements for like accepting a job offer. Like it has to be in your area and it has to be in the field that you're studying. So, you know, it's not like, hey, well, I got a job offer in marketing, you know, that's not going to count for us. It has to be a job in the field that you're studying. But inevitably, you know, people are not always going to report back to us on what they're doing post-graduation, and that's their choice. You know, they can opt out of it. So we can't capture everybody, but 93% is pretty amazing. But there are a variety of reasons, you know, why maybe there are a few that we can't get a job. And that's just the reality of it. We rarely have ever had to enact the money back guarantee, which is pretty amazing. Because if we did, we wouldn't obviously, you know, be able to make any revenue as an organization, as a school, right? So I think we're very in tune to that and making sure that students are getting jobs. And in fact, the career services team is one of the largest, you know, units of Flatiron School, and they were constantly working on reaching out to new organizations and partnerships to help place our graduates, constantly working on how do they support students and prepare you for interviews and build your online profile and networking, and helping you with like creating a blog post and working on your resume. I mean, it's a full you know, full cycle of support for getting you a job. And that's why we're so confident, you know, and we have those numbers to back that up. But Kim, I invite you to like download our jobs report if you want on our website. And we outline everything on there. So if you want to really dig into it and look at, you know, those 7% kind of what that means, we have all that information verified on there for you.
All right, perfect. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I was just curious because you had mentioned that, yeah, 93% employment rate is pretty fabulous. I just was curious about the 7%. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, we have those kind of details and specifics in that job report if you wanted to dive a bit deeper.
So we also have Hannah, who's in this chat, and she actually has an interview scheduled for next Tuesday, and she's really nervous. Hannah, did you want to go ahead and just unmute yourself and kind of fill James in on where you're at and what kind of question you have? Or did you want me to go ahead and just ask that question? All right, so the internet is a little not so reliable on her end, so I'll go ahead and ask. So she actually has no coding experience, I actually have Corey in the chat that also asked me a similar question. In general, I guess they're nervous that they don't have enough coding experience. What kind of approach should they take, or like what kind of tips do you have for them to like make it through this admissions process successfully?
Yeah, and I guess for the interview specifically, Hannah, is it a admissions interview or a technical interview? I guess that maybe would help. And I can answer, I think, the question, you know, either way. But if you're preparing for the admissions interview, great, admissions interview, perfect. That's great. Well, number one, congratulations on taking that step, and we're excited to speak with you and help you out with, you know, hopefully is this a step into your next career here in tech. But as far as the admissions interview, it's nothing technical, you know, so please don't be concerned about the admissions interview. It's really a friendly conversation to help explore your goals, you know, and see how our programs fit for you and answer your questions. That's really what you want to look at for the admissions interview. On our website, we also provide, you know, some additional, you know, free courses that I mentioned. There is a free boot camp for, you know, any program that we offer. So there's free boot camp prep for software engineering, you know, for the coding, for UX UI design, for our data science. And there's like intro to JavaScript, intro to Ruby. So there's a lot of resources for free, but you don't have to go through all of that stuff and feel like you need to be super prepared before your admissions interview. Like I said, it's not technical. It's just kind of an intro conversation, exploring your needs, you know, seeing if you're a good fit based on what your goals are. If we want to understand more about what you're trying to accomplish so we can point you in the right direction, but also how you're a fit for the Flatiron community as well too. And just going over all the details. So I think look at the admissions interview, you know, and that lens, you know, be excited by it, be who you are, you know, be a part of our community. And that's the best way to represent yourself in the admissions interview. Ask questions. And if you've done any sort of, you know, pre-work and learning coding, even on a basic level, bring that as well to the admissions interview. And share that with the admissions rep that you're working with. You know, share, hey, I have limited experience, but here's what I have tried out. You know, and here's what I like about it, or here's what I don't like about it. You know, maybe there's a different direction we can send you on, or again, provide more support. Then the next stage, depending on your program, would be the technical interview, and that's where we're going to prepare you to, you know, get more of the technical background that you need before you sit for a technical interview. So again, the admissions process, you know, the initial admissions interview, nothing to be too scared of by any means. And actually, it's a great conversation. You learn a lot more about Flatiron, and again, not too technical, just friendly.
All right. So unfortunately, it looks like we are running out of time here. We're going to have to wrap up just a little earlier than usual, just because we do have a workshop right after this. And we, I guess, just found out that the Zoom feature is actually using my account. And so you can't have two workshops going on at the same time, unfortunately. But everyone, if you haven't had your questions answered, if you still have questions for James, we'll go ahead and make sure that you have the information to contact him. Actually, yeah, James, where can people find you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can feel free to email me, james.guajardo. So I'll spell that for you from my email address, james.guajardo, so JAMES dot GUAJARDO. Again, that's GUAJARDO at flatironschool.com. That's my direct email address. I'm the director of admissions here at Flatiron School. There you go. Melvin just popped it in there. You can also reach out to our admissions team at admissions@flatironschool.com. And any of our admissions representatives would be happy to answer your questions and get back to you. But this has been an amazing experience, and I'm so grateful to get the chance to talk with you all and help answer your questions. And I'm sorry we're running out of time here. I'm sure there's many more questions, but don't hesitate to reach out to me directly or engage with our team members here at Flatiron School. we really are here to support you and see if our programs are a good fit. And we're really excited about kind of the future of tech, and hopefully helping all of you accomplish any and all goals that you have with a career change in tech too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
make sure to interact with James and the rest of the Flatiron staff through discussions. Definitely leverage those discussions, because now where people work siloed off in your squads, everyone actually has access to the same resources, support, mentorship, and just if you want to engage with others that are kind of in the same shoes you are, definitely check out discussions and see what's happening there. So James, before we close off, I'd like to ask you one final question here.
Go for
and
it.
For those of you that are on the call, the goal of this question is to make sure that you're not just taking what James has shared with us and coming in with one ear and out the other, right? We want to make sure that you're actually implementing these wonderful insights. So James, what would you say is the one thing people can do this week to progress towards their goal of breaking into tech?
Great question, Melvin. Great question. Well, I think I'll give you a couple of things. Yeah, maybe not just one. It's too hard to give you just one. One, though, I would say is like that free resource that we've just put out there on how to land a tech job curriculum that we've made available on our website. Like that's a great resource that we've taken, that a product that we've given to our students in our programs, and we've given it to the public. So that's yours. Check it out. There should be a lot of great resources, help, and support for you on how to get into tech. So that's number one. But number two, just I think practice. Practice writing code. If you want to get into software engineering, find a way to get hands-on. There's so many great free resources. Yeah, Flatiron School, we have resources available. There's so many other ones out there available to you too. So get hands-on and practice writing code, so you can get closer to the point where you are ready to start classes, closer to the point where you're ready to start a career, and really learning what you want to learn. So in any capacity, as much as you can, get hands-on and learn those, tidbits. Attend events, like this. You got a great community here. This is amazing. But if there's any events, webinars obviously are really going on right now. So find ways to get connected with your local community in other ways, and network, and really attend events and learn about the career path you want to pursue. Learn about the job that you want to pursue. If there's multiple jobs, learn about all of those so you can decide which one is the best fit for you. So that's more than one thing, but I think they're all equally important to help you with taking that next step towards a tech career. But I think most importantly too, stay committed. Stay committed to what your goals are. If you stay on track with what you want to accomplish, you will achieve that. So, and I really believe that, and I speak to that to my team and students that we work with, that it's not easy to change a career. It's not easy to sometimes break into tech, but there are a lot of opportunities to help you get there. And we're one of those schools, and there's a lot of opportunities and other resources out there to help you. So stay committed, and I'm sure you'll get exactly where you want to go. All
right. Well, you heard it here first. Definitely take action on each one of those task items, and I would love to hear about your experiences on discussions. So I'll be on the lookout for those posts. I'll be hunting you down. I'll be making sure that people are doing what they need to progress towards their goal, because the first step is always going to be the most difficult, but also the most important. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And James, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone. Meet me in the next workshop right after this. Good night.